We've never done this before. And action.
Warning, this podcast contains spoilers because Mad Eye dies.
What?
No!
You finally found out.
Anyway, subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on all the socials. Leave us a rating and review.
Yeah, darn right.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm John.
And this is Harry Potter and the Second Time Reader.
You are so good at that. Literally.
And the second run of that intro.
No. That was our first time.
Yeah.
First time reader, second time reader.
Yep.
It's like you have podcasting in your DNA. You're a fantastic podcaster.
Yep. it's in the blood. I don't know what we said before.
All right, we are doing 5. No, not 5. Literally.
Wow, same mistake.
This is deja vu. Same mistake. We're doing 4 chapters of.
We're doing chapter 5.
Deathly
I think
Hallows.
that's what your brain is.
That's what I mean.
Thinking. Yeah.
Chapter 5. Your boy dies.
No. And I literally said, I was like, if Mad Eye dies, I'm gonna be so upset.
Yep.
I don't even think that was one that I was questioning. I was just like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Boom, it happens. I was mad and sad.
It's such a bummer.
I think he's actually dead though. I'm not even gonna open the door of like, oh, it's a magical world. People can come back. He's gone.
He's gone.
But anyway, this whole chapter summary is everybody arriving by their port keys to Tonks's parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all late. Everybody has encountered some serious like battles on the way there. And then who lost the ear? Bill or George or Fred? George lost his ear.
Yeah.
And yeah, Harry has one more like vision into Voldemort's mind, and that's the chapter.
Yep. It's an intense chapter.
Yeah.
All these chapters are pretty good, to be honest.
A lot.
Yeah, you didn't think that Moody was gonna die.
Maybe if I sat and thought through it, that would have come up, but no, I didn't. I was totally forgot that happened, I guess. But like, Mad Eye is one of my favorite characters. So we've already had my main favorite
Barty
character
Crouch Jr. is your favorite character because he was really Mad Eye.
They're like the exact same.
They're the same person, yeah.
So 2 of my favorite characters have already died.
Uh-huh.
I feel like this is not going to go well. Like, this is not setting up for success with who I like. Yeah.
Who are your other favorite characters?
I like Tonks. I like Ginny. Ginny better not die. Harry, I really like. Yeah, those are some of my favorites.
They're all gonna die.
Hagrid. Hagrid's not my favorite because he's not like the most complex character, but just on a personal level, I really like Hagrid. He's very sweet.
Yeah.
He should not die.
Honestly, I love him because of his non-complexity. He's what he is, you know?
Yeah. You can just trust him.
Yeah.
But I think I thought that Hagrid was going to die. Like, I think I had a memory that, like, Hagrid fell off his broom and that was that. But, he did, but he didn't die.
Yeah.
But now Mad Eye's gone. So
Chapter 4 definitely leads you to believe that Hagrid's the one that's dead.
For sure.
Now, who was their betrayer? Who was the person? They all come in arguing with each other over the person that betrayed them. Who was it?
Mundungus?
Okay.
I don't know. Like, he just fled the scene.
Yeah.
I don't think that necessarily makes him untrustworthy. But I can't think of anybody else who would have known. Because they even said it has to be somebody who was, like, in our group when we're having the conversation. So I don't even know if I believe that. Like, I think somebody could have been listening in, or like there's some type of magic thing that, I don't know, you can, maybe somebody legilimenseed somebody, or occlumenseed, because I still can't keep those straight.
No, you were right the first time.
Okay, legilimenseed. I don't know. I feel like everyone in the order is trustworthy right now.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to like pick apart someone who you wouldn't trust, because you kind of trust everyone.
But then Mundungus is like the obvious, like, oh, he left. So maybe it is him.
Yeah.
But I really liked when Harry was like starting to doubt everyone, and he had the moment of like, Hagrid was in the bar. He gave it all up for just this little egg.
Yeah.
And then he like stopped himself. I was like, no,
Yep.
And then Lupin was like, "You sound like your dad." That was so weird to me.
That was a weird part because we don't know his dad at all.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know much about Kingsley, but I feel like he's not that person because he sent the Patronus later that said the ministry's fallen.
yes.
And
And he's like almost number 2 right now. He was number 2. Now he's like number 1 in the Order of the Phoenix because
he has like a very high
is.
position in the Muggle world.
Yep.
I like Kingsley.
Yeah, he's a pretty legit bloke, but we don't know if we trust him all that much yet.
A bloke.
Yeah.
Is that? I thought that was like Australian. I didn't
think it's
realize that was.
Australian, yeah.
Oh.
What, I can't use an Australian word here and there?
No, I just was gonna say. I
listeners?
thought it was like European. European English. I don't even know.
Kingsley's really an Australian guy, invading Europe or invading England.
That would be cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
They picked him up at the Quidditch Cup.
Yeah, right.
Hey, join our
G'day, mates.
club.
I was on the Australian Quidditch team.
That was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
That was decent.
All right, thanks.
Because you watched all the Bluey, you know.
I know, seriously.
You've been immersed.
Trains my Australian accent. What do you think of George losing an ear?
It's such like a strange injury.
Yeah.
And they can't fix it. He just has a gaping hole in his head.
Yep.
It makes sense though, because I guess you aim at the face or the chest, like the heart. You know, you're not like aiming for limbs if you're trying to kill them.
Huh?
Like they're aiming a spell at him.
Oh, at his face, at his head, to try to kill him.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
making
okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a human, like you hit the leg or something, you know? Yeah, so they're aiming at his head.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that makes sense. That
Oh, I think you said that
off.
doesn't make sense. I'm like, doesn't make
No.
sense that they wouldn't aim for his legs. I'm like, okay.
No, I didn't say that.
Sorry. Confusion passed over. We're good. Yeah,
Okay.
they're trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And who is the person trying to kill him?
Oh, I don't know. Snape?
Yeah.
So maybe he did it on purpose and he missed.
And miss. I don't know. You hit an ear. I don't know if that's a miss. I think that's kind of like you're trying to aim for the person.
Did that.
Yeah. Also, as a side note, Ron mentions this one wild thing to me that he says.
He mentioned it to you.
He told me specifically. Our Tonks says, "Ron was great," said Tonks warmly, relinquishing her hold on Lupin. "Wonderful. Stun one of the Death Eaters straight to the head. And when you're aiming at a moving target from a flying broom." "You did," said Hermione, gazing up at Ron with her arm still around his neck. "Always the tone of surprise," he said a little grumpily. "Breaking free. Are we the last back? If you stun someone in the head from a high distance on a broomstick, did Ron murder someone?"
Yeah, probably. Although a lot of the times it feels like the Death Eaters are backing each other up and they're like catching each other. Because that happened with Hagrid when he put the wall out.
That's a good point.
And like one guy doubled back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that too because I was like, they realize it's Harry because he's not killing people.
Yes.
Which I was so proud. I realized that before the book told me that.
That was a great pickup.
That was my biggest, proudest moment of reading this series. And then I was like, well, maybe what if Ron and Hermione are killing people? Like, what if they're using unforgivable curses? And it's just like unspoken that they're like out here killing people.
They're ruthless
for Harry. And like Harry's not even doing that. Because Hermione brainwashed her whole family, said that she's just like non-existent.
Yep.
Ron is like creating this whole side story of like, oh, I'm sick, I can't come to school. So they're already giving up like so much more than Harry because Harry's just like a freestanding guy at this point.
Dang.
So I'm like, what if they're like killing people out here in the sky?
Honestly, it does like chalk it up to that. I feel like for massive movements like this, there's always one super moral person and the rest are just like doing whatever is necessary to survive. Like Harry doesn't seem like the most moral person, but he really is. I feel like in this book, like he is the person that is, he always wants to save people, always believes the best in people.
He does not make rash decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
no, he makes rash decisions.
Let's take that back immediately.
Reel that back. It's like literally his MO.
6 books. Yeah, no. I mean, in regards to other people's safety and well-being.
Agreed.
He's not out here like harming other people.
Yes.
But he'll endanger himself very rashly
Yes.
and go run around the castle doing whatever.
Yep. He will flail his life around like he's got 7-9 lives.
Yeah. But I think that's part of him just being like alone his whole life.
Agreed.
Is like he's not used to other people caring for him anyway. So it's kind of like, I do what I want.
Yeah, seriously. And there's a point to it also where, yes, he knows he has a lot to lose, but like all the people that he's really, really loved in his life, like deeply loved, like he's loved Ron and Hermione, that is going to like progress into something, it could progress into something deeper. All the people he's truly deeply loved and that have been like family to him are dead. So I think Harry, there's a part of Harry where he's like, I'm just going in guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
Like, what else do I have to lose,
Yeah. Well, didn't he kind of want to like jump behind the veil to get serious too?
Yeah.
I don't think that was like, I want to die, but.
Oh, there are passages in this book that I cannot wait to discuss with you because Harry hits some dark places.
Yeah.
Like reading this book through a lens of Harry having somewhat of depression and somewhat of deep anxiety. It's really interesting. You mentioned that you like that Harry wasn't cursing people, which I think is a really great point in this book. I think that's great that Harry's not the one that's like, harming people. But it also says this. When Harry's trying to argue, he says, "No," said Harry, "the bike was falling. I couldn't have told you where Voldemort was, but my wand spun in my hand and found him and shot a spell at him. And it wasn't even a spell I recognized. I've never made gold flames appear before." What was that?
And I thought that both wands were like doing this little magnetic dance with each other, but that's not how it is. It was just like his wand acting of its own accord and his hand was moving with it. That being said, I have no idea what that is. I'm guessing it's like, I kind of have the feeling that the phoenix is now Harry's phoenix for some reason.
Okay.
Like maybe there's some bequeathal of the phoenix.
Bequeathal is a great word.
I love that word. There's so like few chances to use that word too. Got it. Nailed it. But I think there has to be something like that. Sorry, there's like a hair in between my toes that really threw me off.
Make some money off of that.
I've thought about it, but I won't. I can't have that showing up on the tax returns, Shout out to my dad for doing my taxes.
Love that. What is this number right here? What is?
Apparently they come in like discrete paperwork.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But no one needs to be buying my toes. Anyway, what were we talking about? Phoenixes?
Yeah. You said the word bequeathal.
Oh yeah. I don't understand what's happening. Like because it's like a harmful thing coming out. Like the phoenix is a healing thing to me. So maybe that's like the love of his mother. Like is there a little bank of like you have 10 spells that you can cast and then all the love runs out?
That'd be kind of cool.
I don't know. What do you think it is?
Well, there's not necessarily hints of what it is, but Voldemort runs off to Ollivander and Harry has a vision of that. And Voldemort is furious at Ollivander because he thinks Ollivander has lied to him. What is that whole conversation about? Want me to read you a section of it? Refresh your memory?
Whatever you want. That was like condescending.
No. Because I know I wouldn't have remembered it. I don't know if you remember the full conversation.
No, where he's like on the ground, writhing in pain.
Yeah.
Voldemort's like torturing Ollivander to get information from him, but Ollivander's like genuinely like, I don't know. Like I thought the different wand was gonna help.
Okay.
And Voldemort doesn't believe him. I guess he thinks Ollivander's on Harry's side. But I guess Ollivander told him something about the brother wands.
Okay.
And that's Ollivander's thinking is like, oh, it must be because the wands are brothers. Like you can't defeat each other. Or like every time you try to defeat each other, you're going to get this like that thing where they connected and like the family ghost started coming out.
Yeah.
So he's trying to find a way around that. But like I feel like that there has to be more than that, like more than just the brother wand thing, because there has to be other sibling wands in the world. But maybe just because they're not like the Dark Lord and the chosen one, that it's like not important. I think the twins should have twin wands.
That would be kind of sick if twins had twin cores.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Or I think it's like maybe it's Fox's feather in Harry's wand, because is it a phoenix feather wand?
Yep.
So it's probably Fox in there.
I believe I might be giving a spoiler here, but I don't think I am. I believe that Dumbledore has already confirmed that Fox was the one that gave the feather for both of their wands.
Okay.
I think. If that's not true and that comes later, then I've spoiled it.
I feel like I remember that though, because he was like the very phoenix that's here.
Oh yeah, I think it was like the second book when.
Because he sent like the phoenix can drop a feather as like a warning thing, and I remember saying, "Oh, is that how they get the feathers for the wand?"
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
Very intuitive, Lizzie. Very well done.
Thank you.
Anything else in this chapter before we go on to chapter 6?
Let me check my notes.
Ooh, good.
For the first time in a long time, I've taken notes. I actually have so many notes. Like even when Bellatrix, Mrs. Tonks walks in, and Harry's like, and I was like, what's going on? But they just look alike.
Yeah. Like
the family drama, I kind of forgot about that, and I feel like she calls that back because that's gonna.
Because he thought it looked like Narcissa or
I think Bellatrix.
Man.
Which really put a picture in my mind, because I just think of like Mrs. Tonks as such a nice old lady type of thing, just because I love her, like just via loving Tonks, you know. And then for her to be like Bellatrix, I was like, whoa, what? I don't like Bellatrix. Oh, this was like an interesting thought I had, because Snape goes after George with Sectum Sempra. Yeah. But remember in the other book where, I don't know which other book it was, one of the other ones, Mr. Weasley's like, half our family owes their life to you. And I was like, oh my goodness, if the other half of they're in the train station, and Harry, I think, was like leaving Hogwarts. Okay. Do you remember where this is?
He's talking to Snape, half our family owe their life to you?
They're talking to Harry. They're dropping Harry off at
yes.
Yeah. So he's like, half our family owes their lives to you. Yeah. And I had this thought, I was like, what if like the other half of the family is gonna die, and like everyone that Harry didn't save is gonna die. So I was like, Ginny's safe because he's already saved Ginny, so she's not gonna die. Yeah. And I was just like, uh-oh.
Who else has he saved? He's saved Mr. Weasley.
Ron and Mr. Weasley. I don't think he ever saved like the twins or anybody else. So they're all like fair game to die.
They're all gonna die.
I don't think they will, but I had a moment of like, oh no, they haven't been saved by Harry, so they're gonna like die by Harry.
That's actually a fascinating theory.
Or like die protecting him.
Harry's touch offers protection in the future.
Yeah. Maybe, or like maybe he's cursed. There's like a jinx. But anyway, I don't think they're all gonna die. I hope not. But
hopefully not. Hopefully half the Weasley clan doesn't all die. That would be devastating. Except for Percy. I wouldn't mind if Percy died. Maybe that's
where's Percy been? He's so MIA.
Where do you think he's been?
At the Ministry. Probably like plotting its downfall, helping.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly.
That'd be kind of badass.
He was with Crouch, right?
Yeah.
So he was like bad with Crouch, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And then he came in with Scrimgeour. Scrimgeour. That was the only other time. And that was like not really a great meeting.
Yeah.
Because, well, I guess we'll get to that's next. But he doesn't feel like he's really on the Order side.
Yeah.
And nobody likes him either. Like, even the siblings, I don't feel like they trust him like that. So.
And maybe to gain their trust back, he's doing a lot of undercover work right now. Probably what I would do. But do you think that it's possible that Percy has actually gone full dark? Yeah. Like that a new order, because we're at these chapters where Let me just double check before I give any spoilers away.
Just tell me everything. I'm actually like so excited about this book. Like this, I'm so psyched to read it every single time. I love Harry Potter.
Yes.
I love it so
love
much.
it so much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
chapter
John.
8. The little his Patronus comes and he says, the minister has died. So Scrimgeour is dead.
It said he died. Oh yeah, it did.
Or maybe he's been dethroned, but he's dead. So do you think Percy would go rogue, or would he just follow the new way of the ministry?
Dead. What do you mean he's going rogue?
Like, does he have allegiance to Scrimgeour and to Fudge, who were opposed to Voldemort, but they didn't really do a lot to fix him? Or is Percy's allegiance really with ambition and like trying to raise as high as he can? So like if a new order comes in for the Ministry of Magic, like if Voldemort's whole clan starts invading the Ministry of Magic, is he just going to align himself with those people so he can achieve a higher standing?
Yeah, I think the latter. I think he's just going with the Ministry, and the Ministry's going to go to Voldemort.
Okay.
And I think he's still going to be fully driven ambition even in Voldemort's reign.
Dang it.
Which is crazy.
That hurts.
But he's been painted so badly this whole series that I don't have anything to be like, oh, there's a better side of Percy. There's really not.
There really isn't. It's a little brutal. All right, chapter 6. What are your notes for chapter 6? The Ghoul in Pajamas.
I don't even think I have notes. I do have notes for 6. This is when the Ollivander thing happens, I believe.
Okay.
The Ghoul in Pajamas. That ghoul is Ron's disguise, basically, in case somebody, like, because he said if the trio doesn't show up at school, he's like, they're gonna come search of all of our houses. So that's why Hermione wiped her parents' memory. Ron has this whole thing where he has like some illness and nobody's gonna go near the ghoul, and they can't tell anyway. But that, and then I think this is like their big conversation too when they're in like the living room, right? Or
yeah,
not, they're upstairs. Like Ron, Harry, and Hermione have their big conversation about like what's a Horcrux, I think, and like talking about the future plans.
Yes, yep.
It's kind of just like information.
Yeah, this is a very information-centric chapter, but they do review a lot of the Horcrux discussion, which I think is helpful because they're about to kind of like embark on their journey.
And the Delacours arrive.
Yep, agreed. Yep. They're a funny little couple. They're cute little couple.
They're not bad. I had like bad expectations for them, but they're literally fine.
They're pleasant people. They're great.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're nice.
So Harry does talk about his desire to return to Godric's Hollow. He says his parents' graves were only a part of the attraction. He had a strong, though inexplicable feeling that the place held answers for him. Perhaps it was simply because it was there that he had survived Voldemort's killing curse. Now that he was facing the challenge of repeating the feat, Harry was drawn to the place where it had happened, wanting to understand. Do you think that Harry's going to get some answers if they go to Godric's Hollow?
I think so.
Like, what's going to happen there?
I think he's going to have to do some crowd work.
Work?
Talk to people.
All right.
And we learned that Dumbledore had his whole history there because Aunt whatever her name is spilled all of that with Doge. That was like the wedding chapter, but just knowing that place has so much history for Dumbledore and Harry, it's like, if he's not in disguise and people see, oh, it's Harry Potter, I think they're going to be willing to talk. And I don't know, he might figure out some things.
Yeah.
So, or he's just going to like run into a Death Eater and like start a battle and then just have to like flee immediately. But at least he can like say hello to his parents and dip.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Sorry, I got to run.
That house has to still be there. I feel like nobody would touch it. There's probably like a hole in the wall. And then he can go see his little crib.
A little memorial or something like that?
Yeah, or just a ruin.
Ooh, yeah.
An abandoned house.
Interesting, Lizzie. Interesting. Very interesting.
Maybe he can like dig. Maybe his house is relatively untouched, and he can like dig through their stuff still. You know,
That'd be
like
kind of cool.
go through their junk drawers and find papers and
See
information.
little, like, yeah. Find like a little baby bonnet that Harry wore.
Yeah, get some trinkets.
Yeah. This baby bonnet is a Horcrux. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would be like, now I'm so skeptical that everything's a Horcrux. Like, if you go in that house, I'd be like, the power was in here. Like, what if everything is just like slightly magical? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But I think he's definitely gonna like gain information. I don't think it's just gonna be like a useless trip.
Yeah. He's gonna gain something when he goes to Godric's Hollow. We'll see.
You know.
I know. Well, I don't even know if he goes to Godric's Hollow. We'll see. You might just skip it over. Hermione might think it's a terrible idea. Yeah, we'll see. It's my first time reading too. First time. It's my first 15th time reading this book.
First time this year.
Exactly. This is so the Horcrux discussion that we get is actually pretty fascinating because they bring a few extra components into it that Hermione has learned. She says, the more I've read about them, said Hermione, the more horrible they seem, and the less I can believe he actually made 6. It warns in this book how unstable you make the rest of your soul by ripping it. And that's just by making one Horcrux. Harry remembered what Dumbledore had said about Voldemort moving beyond usual evil. Isn't there any way of putting yourself back together? Ron asked. Yes, said Hermione with a hollow smile. But it would be excruciatingly painful. Why? How do you do it? Asked Harry. Remorse, said Hermione. You've got to really feel for what you've done. There's a footnote. Apparently the pain of it can destroy you. I can't see Voldemort attempting it someday or somehow. Can you? So this is the only way to mend a Horcrux is remorse.
Pain of remorse can destroy you.
Yeah, it's a great line.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. I was shocked by that. I was like, there's no way you can put yourself back together after that.
Yeah.
But I guess that is fitting, that I guess you're truly sorry, and that's like the turnaround, like breaking point to becoming a good person again. But I don't think he's ever gonna feel remorse. Like, I don't think he's trying to put himself back together again. I don't know why that's relevant.
Yeah, agreed.
Unless if it's like in a selfish way. But like he would only be like, oh, I'm so sorry I did this because now I'm like slightly compromised and not like as powerful as I could be. But I don't think that's necessarily like remorse. I think remorse is more pure than that. Yes. But
he seems slightly incapable of remorse. Like, it doesn't seem like it's up like his wheelhouse or on his wheelhouse of, what's the phrase? Something
up
about
his
a wheelhouse. Up his wheelhouse. Up his, that sounds dirty.
I think it's in his wheelhouse.
It's not. Yeah, that's not in his wheelhouse.
What even is a wheelhouse?
It's remorse.
Is that like
a house where a bunch of wheels are? I don't know.
Wouldn't that be like a freaking, what are those called? The things that turn with the water. Yeah. That's what that is?
A part of a boat or a ship serving as a shelter for the person at the wheel.
Oh, that's not what I was saying.
Oh. That's the wheel thing. But it's like there's a little shelter over that person.
You know, like how they used to power things with like the buckets on the wheel.
Oh,
that's what I was thinking. Okay. And I was like, maybe there's a house. A wheelhouse. It's not in his wheelhouse, so they can't do it because he's not directing the boat. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Words.
Also, they talk about what can destroy a Horcrux.
Oh, yeah, like only magic that you cannot re-magic back together.
Yes. It has to be something so destructive that the Horcrux can't repair itself. Basilisk venom has only one antidote, and it's incredibly rare. What else can kill a Horcrux?
I don't know. But it's also extremely rare that the Phoenix and the Basilisk were together there, right? Ooh, yeah. I was like, oh, that's like a little scary that they're like right next to each other. Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking of is the Acromantula venom that Slughorn got. I didn't go back and like read what he said that could do, but that seemed like venom. So I was like, maybe that spider venom. And maybe like Slughorn knows that because Slughorn knows about Horcruxes because he started this whole thing. But that or the Sword of Gryffindor. and that's why Dumbledore gave it to Harry. There's probably like a magical spell somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. The only real things I have is the sword and the venom of that spider.
So you think the sword could kill Horcrux?
I feel like yes. If the sword is not a Horcrux, maybe the sword is the means to destroy the Horcrux.
Ooh, okay.
Because I'm still thrown off by Dumbledore giving it to him.
Yeah, which was next
when he
chapter,
doesn't even
which we
get
get
it.
to. Yeah, okay.
So
you're basing your assumptions on the fact that Dumbledore is the one giving him the sword, which is that's a great deduction.
I feel like I've brought that up before I knew he got the sword, though, because I thought it was a Horcrux a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, if it has the properties to be like a Horcrux as Voldemort's choosing, but if it's not, it's got some seriously powerful magic attached to it, because Voldemort's attracted to something like that. So it makes sense that this thing would either be a Horcrux or a Horcrux killer. It's a sword, you know.
I can't wait till we get to that chapter. It's a good one.
I love how into this you are. This is gonna be so.
I know.
So
I
fun.
feel like I need to say it, like, and I feel like I sound so like this in all the podcasts. And I'm like, I don't know if people actually know that, like, this is the highlight of like my week is like reading Harry Potter.
Yes,
it's so fun.
And we're gonna speed through this book too. So
I know, like. I think I said it before, but I would be done with this book in like 2 sittings if I wasn't doing the podcast.
Yep.
But it's like more fun to drag it out like this, I think.
We'll just do like 4 chapters every day, honestly. Whenever you can record, we'll just pump them out. Mm-hmm. Just text me and we'll.
I love it. 10 out of 10 book.
Yes.
Amazing. Great. Incredible.
Wait,
can you tell me what this word thing is? That there's like one word that everybody knows. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me what that word is?
No, of course not.
What? How? Where's that from though? Like, where does that?
It's mainly from the movies. In the books, it doesn't have that much significance. In the books, it does have some significance. So, I'm not going to give you a lot of this information.
You told me that you would tell me, and I think you already said like you would have told me by now. And now I'm like sad.
Okay, I'll give you the backstory on this word. There's just a word that Harry Potter fans always associate with Harry Potter. Like if you say this word, it's like a Harry Potter word.
Is it sneak?
Sneak. No.
I want it to be sneak. I thought it was constant vigilance, but that's 2 words.
2 words.
Okay,
it's
Horcrux.
One character says it, and
has it been said already?
Yeah. Yep.
1 word. It's a standalone word.
Standalone word, yeah.
I don't know what that was.
Wes is just probably playing with his toys.
A standalone word. Who said it?
I'm not gonna tell you who said it, but
what was the location that it was set in? Castle.
I'm not gonna tell you that.
Come on, give me a hint.
No,
yes.
I will give you this hint. This is the only hint that I'll give you. In the movies, one of the actors felt the need for this person's character to know the direction that the character was headed in. And Joe gave general directions for all the people, obviously, like this character is going to be like this character is going to be like this person's going to have to deal with this certain decisions. And she told this person the meaning of this word.
Oh, so it's not even like an English word?
No. It is an English meaning, but like it is an English word, but it's just like what's packed into this word.
Bequeathal.
Yes. Could you imagine if you just pull the word bequeathal out? I bequeathal this upon you.
So good. I'm just gonna say Malfoy says it. That's what my gut's telling me.
We'll see. It's
You're gatekeeping.
But I will say
gaslighting and gatekeeping.
I will say this. It has more significance with the movies than it does the books, because in the movies 2 characters at least say this word. And so it means a little bit more to movie watchers. Book readers. Book readers. Bequeathal. Book readers like it, but there's less love to it because it doesn't it doesn't mean that much when this person says it. It's like, oh. But the movies, they take it to a different extreme, which is cool. I like how they did it in the movies.
Okay. I'll find it.
You're gonna be scanning everything now.
Every standalone word.
I love it.
Every one-word sentence.
You're gonna text me words all the time now. All right, let's go to the Will of Albus Dumbledore, chapter 7.
Oh wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Mad Eye's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Mad Eye added protection to places.
Mm-hmm.
Is all of that protection gone now that Mad Eye's dead? Because that seems to be the trend. Yeah. And then this whole like Secret Keeper thing with Grimmauld Place, that's kind of falling apart because now there's like 20 Secret Keepers because Dumbledore died.
Oof.
So I feel like the power of the order is like dissolving as they die because now like they're losing their headquarters, but then also every time you lose someone, all of like the magic that they've done is also being lost.
Yeah,
I think. And then I feel like Snape would probably know like some of the magic that went into these places too, just from previous order things.
I'm trying to think, and I don't think we've encountered this actually at all. When someone dies, if there's any little bits of magic that they've done that linger.
Have to let it linger.
The only thing that you could say are things like the Marauder's map, but these are objects, or the mirror. These people have died, but that magic still lingers. But it's like magic put into an object. If I like the way that we knew Dumbledore died is because he put something on Harry and then like it ebbed away. But if there was an object that someone put magic into, then it would probably last. Maybe not forever, but last a little bit after their death.
Object permanence.
Okay, because there's a point to this, which is the next chapter.
Horcrux.
Well, Horcrux, yeah, but when Dumbledore gives them these objects in his will, he
is he like adding?
Yeah.
The way that I understood this was there's a specific reason that each one of the trio is given the object that they're given.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're so extremely helpful. I don't know why, but I feel like they are absolute necessity because like Dumbledore took the risk of doing it that way. And I guess like he died unexpectedly, but I feel like there could be ways of like passing things down around that, like without putting it into a will.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would like to go into the next chapter.
let's jump right in. It's a good chapter. It's one of my faves. I love it. Love this one. The Will of Albus Dumbledore.
The Will of yeah, so who's the guy? Scrimger is arriving at the burrow.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why that sentence did not roll off the tongue at all. And he basically is like, oh, I got to talk to you guys, the trio. They go inside. He wants them all separate, but they stay together. Smart move.
Yep.
Stories can align that way. And then he basically dishes out the Deluminator, the Snitch, a book, and the sword, but the Ministry took the sword because it's history.
Yeah.
I think that's like the whole chapter is that. Yeah. And Scrimgeour and Harry like end up like nose to nose in a fight. Yeah. So
they're about to go at it.
Yeah, and then like Mr. Weasley walks in and they're like, "Oh, what's going on in here?"
Good summary.
Yeah. Thanks.
At the beginning of this chapter, Harry experiences kind of a vision. Where Voldemort's walking through this like mountainous valley.
Mountainous valley. Wow. That is an oxymoron.
All right, shut up. A mountain road, okay? And he's looking for someone named Grigorovich.
The wand man.
Why is he looking for this person?
Because he probably killed Ollivander and he's like needs all the wand people.
Okay.
He's just going through all the wand people.
Dang, okay.
I don't know if Grigorovich is like more powerful. I feel like he might be just because he's like Swedish or something. I don't know what he is. French.
What is Grigorovich? Grigorovich is like I don't know. What kind of name is that?
Is Durmstrang's from the south, right?
Durmstrang's Durmstrang's north.
Oh, I always just go Durmstrang. That's
yeah. Durmstrang would be an Alabama school in America.
He is from the north. So he's with Durmstrang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he's like more affiliated with wanding up the dark wizards.
Ooh, yeah.
Is that where Voldemort got his, or his came from?
His came from Ollivander.
Okay.
Most Great Britain people get it from Ollivander.
I don't know.
Regional, I guess.
He's just trying to figure out what's going on with the wands.
All right, yeah, good. I like it.
But suck it, Voldy, because you don't know. And it's like, I just like that he can't get past that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that should be a simple thing. Like, oh, you can't defeat Harry Potter? Must be your wand.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not your wand. It's just you.
Yeah.
Like, in your face.
Yeah, it's a good one. This is one of my favorite little tidbits in this entire series that's coming up, and I just want to read this for you because there's some like fun stuff that's in this. Well, there's 2 lines. I want to read you early. One of my faves, and then I'll read you the next one. That's really powerful. It says, "This isn't your average book," said Ron. "It's pure gold. 12 fail-safe ways to charm witches. Explains everything you need to know about girls. If I'd only had this last year, I'd have known exactly how to get rid of Lavender. I would have known how to get it going with, well, Fred and George gave me a copy, and I've learned a lot. You'd be surprised. It's not all about wand work either."
It's not all about wand work.
Oh my gosh, that's one of the funniest lines in the whole series.
Funny. I was dying when I read that. It was so funny.
And then this is a line that I love because there's a lot packed into this that goes over readers' heads. And it's this. Harry sat down, took the square parcel she had indicated, and unwrapped it. Inside was a watch, very like the one Mr. and Mrs. Weasley had given Ron for a 17th. It was gold with stars circling around the face instead of the hands. "It's traditional to give a wizard a watch when he comes of age," said Mrs. Weasley, watching him anxiously from beside the cooker. "I'm afraid this one isn't new like Ron's. It was actually my brother Fabian's, and he wasn't a terribly careful person with his possessions. It's a bit dented on the back, but..." The rest of her speech was lost. Harry had got up and hugged her. He tried to put a lot of unsaid things into the hug, and perhaps she understood them because she patted his cheek clumsily when he released her. Then waved her wand in a slightly random way, causing half a pack of bacon to flop out of the frying pan and onto the floor. This is a random question, but do you remember who Fabian Pruitt is?
No.
So this is why
I feel like I remember the name being somewhere in the book.
So, okay. It's one of my favorite little subsections of this book. Like, there's so much subtext going on right here. So Fabian Pruitt is Molly Weasley was Molly Pruitt before she was Molly Weasley. So Fabian Pruitt is her brother, obviously, like it says here. And then it says this in Goblet of Fire. This is when they're looking at some of the, I think Sirius is giving Harry like some information. He says, "The Pruitts, Gideon and Fabian. It took 5 Death Eaters to bring them down. They fought like heroes." And I think it is so tragic and so beautiful, too, that Mrs. Weasley has been holding on to this watch that's her brother's. Mm-hmm. And then who does she bequeath it to?
Let's go.
Other than Harry. Like, yeah. I think there is such significance behind that. And I love that it's so underwritten. Like, it's just like Hamali throws in that it was her brother Fabian's. But this guy died trying to take down Voldemort. And she's giving this watch to Harry, whose essentially life mission is to take down Voldemort. And there's like a lot of, I think, beauty to that.
Yeah, there's so much I love in that because I just love that you get a watch when
right?
Like, that's
awesome.
Just cool, little tradition.
Yeah.
But then it's really special that Ron gets a new watch because like there's so, like, they're poor, you know, like he doesn't get a lot of new things. So I feel like that's really special. But then also part of me is like he should maybe get like the heirloom watch, but I don't know if they like see it as like a generational like special thing or if it's just like, oh, that's an old hand-me-down watch. But then for Harry, I think it's like, yeah, all of the things you said about him defeating Voldemort or trying to defeat Voldemort, like that's really special for him. And then he's not gonna care if it's a used watch. Like Harry doesn't even have family.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
There's no one to give him a watch.
Agreed.
So
I love that he puts a lot into that hug too. It's like,
I felt like the hug was like low-key disingenuous.
Really?
Yeah, I read that and I was like, oh, are you like playing Mrs. Weasley right now?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just felt like maybe that's just me, but I just felt like
whenever someone hugs Lizzie, she's like, oh, what's going on here?
I just think it's like that's the right thing to do in the moment, and you're like, I want to make you feel better. And like I want you to think I care a lot. So then I give you a hug. Like Harry gives Mrs. Weasley a hug. I don't want to ruin that for you because I think you love that hug.
No, that's
but
good.
Like,
it's fine. You're not gonna ruin it.
I just feel like he just thinks like that's the right thing to do in the moment because he's like, they're giving up everything for me. And now there's like the hug that should happen, that I should do, that I should pretend is like very meaningful.
Following protocol for like what he should do.
Yeah, I think he's like playing her a little bit.
That's a little harsh to hear, to be completely honest. I don't think that's in Harry's wheelhouse. We're picking up a lot of phrases. Like, because we're talking about Harry's moral character. Harry and moral combined. Harry's moral character.
Yeah. I just think he's like trying to get it over with, you know?
I think he's
gonna dip in a minute. Give her a hug, get out.
Maybe.
Because that's, I think, like the thing that Mrs. Weasley needs. And I think he's trying to love Mrs. Weasley how Mrs. Weasley needs to be loved so that she can feel like he's grateful for everything she's done for him. Stop like doing that with your nose.
That's what you're supposed to do. Harry's not going to love Mrs. Weasley in the way that he should receive love. He's going to love Mrs. Weasley. That's good love if you love another person in the way they receive it best.
I'm saying there's a level of like disingenuousness though.
If you're using it for manipulation, agreed, fully agreed. If I know how someone likes to receive love and I'm doing that in order to get certain things from it, then agreed. But if I know how someone receives love and I'm doing it because I want to show them love, there's nothing wrong about that.
I know. I think it's, yes,
Lizzie.
You're correct. I'm just saying, I think he's taking the easy way out instead of like saying thank you to Mrs. Weasley or like having a conversation. He's just like trying to hug her.
Oh, okay.
And
I
be
see what
like,
you're saying
that's
with that.
it.
Because like,
and like it's easier to just give a hug than like have a full conversation.
Agreed. I'm actually kind of with you on that because there's points to it where like, yeah, you don't want to, especially when like someone, okay, I don't know. I don't know exactly Mrs. Weasley. I don't know if she wants to get into the stories. I think from what I know of her character, she does seem to want to like maybe talk about some of that stuff. And it was just starting to bubble forth.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, like, you know, this is what happens. Like, this is what happened with my brother. Maybe she's going to like unload some of that stuff. It'd feel great for her. And then all of a sudden Harry just hugs her and like the story, it's like, that's it. Because he knows when I hug her, she's going to be a little flustered. So there's potential that Harry is doing something like that.
He's a player.
I think more that Harry is just very grateful for her. And maybe that's the way that maybe Harry's not being like, you know, perfectly loving and that this is the best way that he knows how to show love to her. How else would Harry show love like that he knows of? I don't know. I think that's like the best thing that he could do. I
just don't feel like it's love. Like, I don't think it's genuine.
So what would
Mrs. Weasley's like a big suppressor of all her emotions.
Yeah, agreed, for sure.
And I remember the hug that Lupin gave Mrs. Weasley when she was dealing with her Boggart.
Yeah.
Upstairs. And like that was a big like release.
Yep. So what would Harry do in this situation in order to show like his truly loving self to Mrs. Weasley?
I don't feel like he cares though. I think he's like apathetic and is like, I have to go kill Voldemort. I'm stuck in your guys' house. Let me go. And honestly, he's like,
that's a great depiction of Harry to some extent because he definitely feels like that.
Yeah, and he's like so over it. But I think there's like a part of, there's a normal, like there's a social norm that I need to be thankful to these people. Like they are giving up their everything for me. But he's so like eyes on the prize. Let me get out here. That he's just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a player move. Like just hug her, make her feel like she's loved. And then like, you don't care. That's what I feel like. That
is one of the hottest takes I've ever seen.
That's how I read it.
It's fascinating.
Because it is easier to just do that sometimes.
Agreed, for sure.
From one player to another. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm thinking through certain things that are happening now and trying to reframe it. I think
Because like he wants to be nice to them, he doesn't want to burn the bridges.
yeah.
But
I don't know how he would truly show love. Like I think maybe he's just doing the best that he can do in this situation.
I don't think he knows
and
how.
Agreed. And on another, in like a whole different point, when someone is mourning or going through something, like she's thinking of her brothers again. Honestly, sometimes I think 99% of the time, not saying anything and just being with that person helps.
Yeah.
So maybe Harry should have just shut up and just listened. But I think a hug is one of the next best things.
To each their own.
Yeah, I guess so. That's a hot take. That's a fascinating take.
That's how I read it.
All right. Anyway, what do you think of the Minister for Magic when he's coming?
I think it's odd. I feel like this should be done in an office.
Yeah.
With a witness. But no, they're having a little inquisition.
Yeah. Actually,
he's like, why do you think? Oh, what are you going to say?
Real quick before that, there's a really fascinating line that says, although Lupin smiled as he shook Harry's hand, Harry thought he looked rather unhappy. It was all very odd. Tonks beside him looked simply radiant. What's going on between them?
I'm assuming that this is when she's pregnant.
Okay.
And she's got like the pregnancy glow.
Okay.
But then like either Lupin's just depressed, which I think he is in some ways. But he's been like messed up for a while now, I feel. So maybe he's just the stress of life, like his job's getting to him. But honestly, if it's the job stress, I think he could suck it up for the little social event that he's at. If you're depressed, I think that's harder. It's more excusable. So I don't know. And if she's not pregnant, I don't know. Then I just say he's depressed.
Yeah, for sure. He's just full on depressed.
And she's just happy, which makes like, obviously that's, you're not like, your depression isn't dependent on like your circumstances in life, but it is a little odd.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's strange. Whatever they're going through, it's strange.
She should cast a Patronus at him.
Ooh.
Shoo those Dementors away.
All right, I like that.
That's actually been one thing that I think about all the time is like the Dementors, and just like I think of it as like I think of depression as that way, and it like adds like a like it kind of lightens it up for me a little bit because I'm like, ooh, the Dementors are
coming,
you know, and I'm like I gotta like cast my Patronus.
Let's go.
You know? But like I don't know. Cause that just happened to me where like I was like, okay, the Dementors have finally left. And I'm like, it's such a good mood now. And that was like, I don't know. It's just is like it personifies it a little bit, which I think is like helpful rather than like a big dark, I don't know.
Yeah, like looming cloud or whatever like that. Yeah. I love that she
kind of like that children's book that you like Sadness is at the Door or something.
It's a good one.
Yeah, that was like I don't know. It's just like it kind of like lightens it up to me.
Yeah, it's not so crazy serious. Yeah, I love again any literature that kind of does this. That not only is it just entertaining, not only is it an escape, but it like actually helps you deal with real things. Like I think she did that exceptionally well for Dementors and for death, with people seeing Thestrals and people how you ward off, you know, the looming depression that's coming to you. Maybe it's not like the perfect depiction of what depression looks like for everybody, but I think it's like, okay, you know, the Dementors are coming, it lightens it up. You're like, how do I solve this? Let me, you know, focus on the happy memories in my life. And like, it's not always a quick solve like that. It's not so easy, but I think that's great. I think it lightens it up. I think it's like great that it does this for kids too. When they read this, they're just like, oh, okay. When I'm like experiencing sadness in some kind of way that I can kind of like, you know, think of the happy things in my life, and it might be a little bit of a balm and like a salve for this.
And it externalizes it a little too, because I can think of it as like something attacking me rather than like, oh, I am the darkness itself. Like
I love that.
Yeah. That's like and great. Just ruminating in that. It's just like, oh, it'll come, it'll go. And it's like not just within me forever, you know?
Oh yeah. I want to cry. I love this.
Yeah.
That's so good. Look at these books helping us
But
out
anyways,
with life.
the Dementors are gone now. Shout out to my dolphin Patronus, wherever you are. Accidentally cast you in my sleep the other night, I guess.
That's so good. So yeah, the Scrimger is a very strange dude though in this whole section. What did you think about the things that he left to all of them? What do you think about the object that he left to Ron, to Hermione, and to Harry?
Ron got the Deluminator.
Yeah, why?
It's feeling pretty useless.
Yes.
But it does have a close, so maybe it opens at the close. A little lid thing. I don't know. I truly have no clue. Okay. I'm assuming maybe there's like a certain light that he needs to deluminate. Right. But I'm feeling like they are so purposeful. There's a reason.
Okay.
Everyone, like for me, I'm like, Hermione, go lock yourself in your room, read that whole book through.
And she's going to do that. She's going to do that. Yeah.
Upside down, backwards, in the mirror, between the pages. Mm-hmm. That also has a close because that has a spine. So maybe that opens at the close.
I love these theories that open at the close.
The thing that doesn't have a close is the sword. So the sword's not here. So that must have been purposeful because I can't open that. And I feel like the snitch has to be put in water, like that egg from the cup. That's like, and I'm like, if he caught in his mouth, that's like really wet. So like, maybe it just needs to be in the water. I'm like, chuck that thing in the tub.
That is so funny.
That's my only thought.
So great.
Or is there like an inside of the snitch? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, is there something hidden inside?
Did they say that opens? Or that just has like a memory? A touch memory. What happens with the touch memory?
The flash memory is when it shows I open or close. Harry puts it to his lips right after Scrimger leaves. Because he's like, you don't remember my first Quidditch catch ever? And they're like, no, Harry, we don't keep like a memory or a track record of every snitch that you caught. And he touches it to his lips. And then it says, I open it close.
He's going to eat that, John.
Yeah, that's really it.
No, that opens when he touches it? Is that what opens?
No, we don't know what I open at the close is.
I think that opens and there's like something inside of that.
What would be inside of a snitch?
Like further instructions from Dumbledore. Like a little locket.
Parchment of paper written very small. Do all this.
Exactly.
How are they going to open that though? What's the close?
They put it in water and it opens at the close. Or he puts it in his mouth. Like, why does he still not try to eat it? Like he kissed it. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it has to be
He's got to digest that.
Suck on it. When
he poops it out, it comes out open.
I'm just saying, pop it in, pop it out. We don't need to digest this whole thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like the snitch has to open and become like this little locket situation. And either there's like a Horcrux in there, which I don't think so because that's tiny, or there's like literally a piece of paper that's like, hey, I died. Sorry. This is where you need to go. This is what you need to do. Love Dumbledore. And that's it. So that's what I'm thinking. And I'm 100% serious that it needs to be put in water. I feel like that is the cure to...
I like that. I like that you're just at least problem solving here. It's like Harry's just kind of sitting on his butt, not knowing what to do with this.
And there has to be something in Hermione's book. Like that to me. Either there's like one page that's like erased and rewritten, or like you can siphon the ink off and it like starts writing a new thing and it's like, oh, I'm actually like instructions from Dumbledore.
Or it's like that book you got to reorder. What's that book called? That they you have to like cut it across or cut the spine.
Yes. Like just it's not a normal book.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling. And that also the spine, maybe there's something hitting the spine.
Okay.
I don't know why Ron has the Deluminator. Maybe like one of the Horcruxes is a light bulb. Because maybe the Deluminator, because it's the one of a kind thing, you can't undo that with magic. Once you deluminate a light bulb with the Deluminator, it cannot be relit by any other means. So maybe you can like unlight the Horcrux light bulb thing, and then it can't be re-magic back on because it's Dumbledore's magic, you know?
Interesting. Okay.
That's definitely right.
I like that. I like your theories on this. You're getting real like freaky with these theories. Not freaky. Freaky is the wrong word. You're getting real adventurous with these theories.
I'm into it. I don't know what
I love this.
It has to be like the egg situation.
Yeah. Something like that.
Just like put it in your mouth. Why did he not
Yeah,
put it
why
in his
not?
mouth? They're like, oh, I wonder what's in the book. Okay, read the book. I wonder
But
what's...
to Harry's point, he touches it to his lips, and then it shows these words. So like,
Oh yeah. Oh, did the open at the close show up?
no,
Oh, what showed up?
nothing. It was a snitch, and Harry grabbed it, and then when Scrimgeour left, then he touched it to his lips, and then it says, "I opened at the close."
Oh, that's what I meant. I open at the close.
Pop the thing in, start chewing it.
The close. The close. I open at the close. Is there like the cabinet or something that's closed?
Cabinet?
Like the vanishing cabinet?
The vanishing cabinet is a Horcrux.
I open at the close.
I open at the close.
The close?
I open at the close.
This is like you doing the crossword.
Yeah. It could be close. I open at the close.
Oh, what's the close? A monster. The close.
You got any other notes for this
open
chapter?
At the
While you think of close.
I open at the close.
I open at the close. I open at
my only
close.
Note says, like the Fourth Amendment. Which is Hermione, like the unreasonable search and seizure. She's like, this is not allowed. This is
citing the
against
laws.
Smuggle.
Yeah, I love it.
Literally just the Fourth Amendment. That was it. I feel
great.
like the thing that's opening is the snitch. It's not like an outside object.
Okay, so if the snitch opens, then you think there's instructions on how to defeat Voldemort in that.
No, I think there's just like step number 1 of like you
Okay.
should head in this direction. Like maybe it just says go to Godric's Hollow, and then Harry's like, oh, well, I was gonna do that anyway, but
Why is Dumbledore putting this all in riddles then?
Because it's being searched through. He
Okay.
can't just write that out. Say Horcrux located at.
But think about it. If there's something in the snitch, why wouldn't it just open when Harry kisses it?
Because nobody's putting it in their mouth.
Like, so you really think that's the
yes,
key riddle?
I'm so serious.
I love this so much.
Because it's the flesh memory or whatever it is.
All right. I like it.
I think it has to touch the inside of somebody's mouth.
It's Harry's probably specifically.
I guess so. But yeah, I mean, it's like when people started in I forget what that word is, but like hiding stuff in their letters because they were getting searched through all the time.
Yeah.
Like you have to start working around the ministry because the ministry is not working for you.
Yeah, agreed. I'm into that. I kind of like that.
And I feel like the ministry, I guess obviously the Scrimgeour is not dead yet, but I feel like this is the last act before the ministry has fallen. And like if the ministry did fall, that maybe like the will wouldn't have been given out to whoever. Like this was, I feel like this is the last act of the ministry.
Really? Yeah. It's weird because this is one of the last things that Scrimgeour does. Because he dies in the next chapter.
Yeah. I wonder if he like leaves the safety net of the burrow and then just gets like shot down.
Seriously.
Serious.
I mean, that's what we got. So the next chapter is the wedding, which is just like kind of like the wedding, There is a bunch of fun stuff that happened in this, but
it was a good wedding.
I know it was a good wedding.
Sounds like a lot of fun to be at.
Agreed. It's a rip roaring time.
What is this triangular eye situation?
What is this triangular eye?
On what is his name? Xenophilius.
Xenophilius.
That's such a good name.
I
I love how she does stuff like that.
I know.
Xenophilius. I am picturing like the $1 bill situation.
Okay, it's somewhat similar to that.
Like Freemasons.
Have you seen? You've probably seen this sign in the wild.
Yeah, it's like the
triangle with the circle.
and the what?
And the little
is there like an X
line that goes through it?
Is that the?
So it's like the triangle is like that. There's a circle in the triangle, and there's a line in the circle.
Yeah. Okay. What about it?
What is that?
I believe that's the Deathly Hallows. I don't know what that is.
We don't know what the Deathly Hallows are yet.
One of the Deathly Hallows is the wand. And
Okay.
maybe that's the little line going through it.
Okay.
It's like a wand.
So what would the other two things be then?
An egg.
A snitch.
Oh, a snitch would be so good. What's triangular? A block of cheese. I have no idea. Like, I have not encountered a triangle yet.
Yeah.
3 sides. 7's a magic number. 3 isn't 3 like perfection or something?
7 is perfection
Oh.
in the wizarding world.
I thought 3 was like a magic thing here. Here.
I don't know.
Isn't 3 like perfect? Because that's like the most pleasing number to your eye and such.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Like things in 3 are better than things in 2 or 4. That's why things are always in 3s.
What is always in 3s?
Like if you're plating food, you're like plating in 3s. Like you're having like 3 focal points. Or if you're like setting a table and there's like candle, it's better in 3s than 4.
Yeah.
Because it has like the flow of like your eye can follow it better.
I say that in writing too. You should have lists of odds rather than evens.
Yeah, odds are just better.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's 3. 3 people: Ron, Harry, Hermione.
All right.
I don't know what the circle is. The portrait hole. It symbolizes Ron, Harry, and Hermione jumping through the portrait hole.
Love this
with
so much.
Wand in tow. Not in tow, but in tow.
Okay.
TOW.
TOW, not in TOE.
In tow, yeah. That's what it is. I don't know even like what the Deathly Hallows are, but or what the Elder Wand is, but like they are. Period. They are. They're there.
Okay.
But he's saying it's like some terrible kind of like political symbol of Grindelwald.
Grindelwald, yeah. Who is Grindelwald?
The guy who Dumbledore defeated.
Yeah. And
that was at Durmstrang. What school are they from?
The mark was at Durmstrang.
Okay.
But the sign was they say that's a sign of Grindelwald.
So yeah, why does he have it around his neck? Like that shouldn't be a good thing. But then I feel like also the way that Luna and Xenophilius are portrayed, they're like very free thinkers and like conspiracyists. What's that? Conspiracists.
Yeah, conspiracy theorists.
So then like sometimes like you actually encounter those people where they're like, this isn't what you think it is. There's a deeper meaning in like this niche topic that like someone else has skewed, but I know what the true the true meaning is. And you're like, you know, like it's one of those things that they would almost like be fine being misinterpreted because
you
like,
think that Crumb is wrong on this, or not Crumb is wrong, but you think that in Xenophilius' eyes, like Crumb doesn't know the real meaning of this, and there's deeper meaning behind what he's wearing.
I think
other than just the market.
I think Crumb is right, but Xenophilius probably has some like niche truth that he's holding to.
Okay.
But like I would not say this whole storyline of like Grindelwald and this thing being on the walls, Crumb, his grandfather, I'm with him on that. Like that sounds sure, I'll go with that.
Okay.
But yeah, if you ask Xenophilius, he's probably gonna be like, oh, this is like representative of new life and rebirth, and like
interesting, Lizzie.
I don't know.
It's a good take. Giving me a lot to think about right now.
I love how Luna just like dances in her own world.
Just does what she wants.
Yeah, that's so cute.
She is what I aspire to be. She is so lovely.
But you don't like to dance.
Yeah, I'm not a dancer.
Maybe that's like how you, like maybe you just need to dance by yourself, and it's like
you know, I dance by myself
once in a while. Eye-opening.
I'm like cooking dinner and just like grooving.
Yeah.
Doing my own thing.
Me too.
Yeah,
I feel like I dance all the time at home, but not really not in public. I'm not dancing down the street. That's actually such a lie. I am always dancing. I don't care.
It's like you want to be more like Lizzie, more like Luna.
Yeah, Lizzie. Come on, guys.
Who cares what other people think?
Dance in the street.
We learn a little bit about Dumbledore's background here, but what is the actual truth? Because there's two conflicting things. Rita Skeeter's telling, and then Alpheus Doge is telling, and he sees Alpheus Doge here, and Alpheus Doge is very much like a Dumbledore apologist.
I'm on more of the ant side, I think.
Okay.
Because I feel like I've kind of learned sometimes that those people are actually more honest and real than like the other people.
Yep.
The truth is a hard pill to swallow.
Mm.
So I feel like she might be like, there's probably a level of gossip and like it's been exaggerated over time. But I think like when someone comes at you with something that's completely like countering the norm like that, and like the real story that you think is like, oh, everybody knows this is how this girl died or whatever, and like somebody just says something like that and they just like are drunk and it's just coming out, I feel like low-key I'm like listening to you, like I'm gonna believe that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like the ladies like to talk.
Yeah,
they probably
agreed.
got some truth
that is
along
a really
the way.
Yeah.
And you don't have to take everything she says at face value, but like if
sure.
she's presenting like a perspective that hasn't been said before, like listen to that. And it's like it's more firsthand than Rita Skeeter's ever gonna be, because Rita Skeeter's is also like a crazy story, but she's like way down the filter of like, this story has been so dissolved, like this is just kind of opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas whatever aunt her name is, Margie,
Yeah,
she's like kind of at like the top of the totem pole to me, like she was almost there when it was happening.
it is like a pretty fascinating thing that you say that, because Rita Skeeter is for sure very gossipy. She's got some bias there, but she's like, this might sound weird to say, but she's like a pretty neutral person. Yes, she upsets people, but there's one scene that I remember where like she's in an interaction with Dumbledore, and Dumbledore's like, oh, you wrote that mean thing about me. And she's like, I have to, Dumbledore. I have to. That's like journalism. I got to tell him the story.
I remember us talking like, is she a good journalist or isn't she?
I kind of think she is.
Yeah.
Like she's very much like a gossip column journalist, but she will. So this is one part of that I don't like about her, because she will do anything that she can to get the story, like whatever she can to get the story that is entertaining to readers. She is going out for entertainment rather than like maybe what the pure and right truth is.
Yeah.
But within the entertainment value, there's always like, you know, you can round that off, I think, a little clearer than what someone who truly, truly loved you says about you. Which is a weird thing to say, but like Alpheus Doge, like he's buddies. He's like looking up, he's like essentially like a little follower of Dumbledore. Like what he says is only going to be positive, only going to be like great things about this. Because he's idolizing him. Exactly. I think not someone that you love. I think that's like very different. I think someone that you love can tell the absolute truth about you. But she out here is trying to like, she's out here trying to get like this story. I think you could chip away easier at what the truth is for her than you can for Alpheus Doge, which you have to build up. Like within Rita Skeeter, she's giving everything, and you're like, this is the part that's true. Within Alpheus Doge, he gives you a little bit, and you're like, I don't even know how to build off of that. Like you didn't say anything bad about him, which there's always bad things about people. Like that's it. I love that.
And the difference between Doge and Rita and the aunt is like, Doge and Rita are both doing this with the mindset of this is going public. And then the aunt is just like, conversing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just like she gains nothing from this.
Yeah, agreed.
Whereas the other two, it can be argued they either gain or lose from the perspective that they give. So different. Yeah. They're in a different game a little bit.
It makes you wonder what you have been suspicious of forever. Is Dumbledore a good person? I'm just kidding. You haven't always been
I don't even know.
It makes him more complex.
Nobody's a completely good person.
Agreed, yeah. That is why I love this book. Because it's like no one's purely good. Yeah. Except for maybe Lily. People say Lily's the only one that's like maybe above it all, because she's so idolized in this book, because everything's in Harry's mind.
There's like nothing about her thus far. Like maybe this is all about Lily, But if Lily is so perfect, she's avoided like 6 books of
agreed.
Possible.
Yeah. And we're all on Harry's side. No one's gonna trash his dead mother,
Yeah. That's not nice.
Yeah.
Don't trash people's dead mothers.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Or living mothers.
Or living mothers.
Let's just not talk about it.
Yeah, don't tell your mama jokes. The end of this chapter is great though. Cliffhanger. Harry did not know where to begin, but it did not matter. At that moment, something large and silver came falling through the canopy over the dance floor. Graceful and gleaming, the lynx landed lightly in the middle of the astonished dancers. Heads turned, as those nearest it froze in mid-dance. Then the Patronus's mouth opened wide, and it spoke in a loud, deep, slow voice of Kingsley Shacklebolt. The ministry has fallen. Scrimgeour is dead. They are coming. It's so good.
I almost didn't realize the pertinence of that until I accidentally flipped through and I realized there's a battle scene next. I was like, oh. I was like, a message, okay. And then I was like, oh, they're coming.
Yeah. They're coming. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the next scene, I guess. But so the Death Eaters killed Scrimgeour?
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I feel like he could have been swayed.
Yeah.
You know?
I gave you a spoiler of a little bit in the next chapter because we don't know Scrimgeour is dead yet.
No, we do. Scrimgeour is dead.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, we do. We don't know how he died or the circumstances around how he died. I didn't spoil any of that, so I'm glad. We will learn that.
Is the circumstances different than just the Death Eater killing him?
Significant. No, it's not that
Suicide?
No. It's not that crazy. But it changes your perspective of him slightly. We'll figure that out next time.
You made the cliffhanger way
I know, right?
I was oblivious before.
Did you have any other notes in this chapter before we end it?
No. That's it.
Perfect.
All has been said.
Did you have a hot tamale favorite moment or favorite character?
I kind of want to say Kingsley's my new hot tamale.
Ooh, he is a hot tamale.
Replacing Sirius.
Dang,
but
wow.
Then Ginny also was majorly hot tamale in the burrow.
There's that one moment where she winks at Harry when she's looking for him in the crowd. It's ooh, your heart flutters a little. You're oh.
And then she's also I forget what she says. This is how you can remember me. Whatever. They just make out. That's really hot tamale energy.
That was hot tamale energy.
But yeah, Kingsley or Ginny, and then
that's a good
favorite moment. Low key, Luna doing her thing on the dance
that was great.
floor.
So good.
There has to be much better options for me
to
pick, but I kind of don't take this very seriously. What else am I supposed to do?
Favorite character?
George.
Oh yeah, George's ear.
Yeah.
We'll end this in honor of George's ear.
Ear.
Your ear.
For George.
Well, thanks for joining us on this journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers.
See ya.
Bye.